on the wow! They would have heard the clapper. Both from Borralho, but he takes one.
One only thing I want to say, never ever believe yourself and give up.
Welcome back to High Guard TV, the YouTube channel that got every single prediction on UFC Paris wrong. Oh my God, see, I don't know what to say. Like, I feel like I have a lot to say, but the words are just not coming out. Like, why? Like, man, I thought this dude was going to be able to blow this dude out of the water, but apparently that was not the case. What I'll say about this fight is that Imavov, he's quick though. He's got quick hands, he's got great reflexes, and he's got good takedown defense. Do I think it's enough to beat Khamzat? No, absolutely not. Like, but I already see Khamzat taking him down. Khamzat is not going to be trying that whole clinch up trip nonsense with him. Khamzat is going to fly like a fucking shark in water. He's going to dive him and just, take him down and just keep him there. But I don't know if he can somehow manage to negate Khamzat's wrestling. He should be able to actually, come out with something. I don't know if it's enough, because I've seen Khamzat in those situations and he still somehow manages to pull through. But shout out Imavov, I still think you're a fuck nigga, and I don't really best with you, but hey man, I had that fight maybe 5-0. I don't know, people are complaining that 50-45 is wild. I personally don't think so. I think you could argue a 4-1, but I see, like, I don't really see any rounds Borralho won. Borralho looked very off. Not to make excuses for him, he kind of sucked. Like, he didn't fight like himself. He was very slow, and he was throwing these big punches and he kept trying these trips. And like, he would pin him at the cage, but then he wouldn't, like, he didn't level change much. Like, in the BSD fight, you saw BSD level change against Ruffy so much, but he wasn't even level changing. He kept trying the same thing, trying to clinch, trying to like push him back and trip him. He kept trying it over and over again, and it didn't work. I don't know why he didn't shoot like a single leg or a double. I don't know, like, try and get a single leg. It'll be easier. A single leg is way easier to take someone down with a single leg than with a double, and he needs that. But like, he was just awful, man. Like, he didn't really bring that fighting nerds, like fight stuff. But anyway, shout out to Borralho. You'll be back bigger and better. Shout out to Nassourdine, Imavov, Khamzat's next opponent, and I hope it's a good fight. I hope he can stop the wrestling and use his scripts boxing. Like, to me, this fight was just a very interesting, but it was just like a boxing match with some kicks and some clinches. Like, not really it wasn't a bad fight. It was an entertaining fight, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Basically, that's what I'll say about it. But I'm a man who can admit when he's wrong, and there is a lot of that on this card. But anyway, shout out to Nassourdine Imavov. I hope you don't get tapped in one round by Khamzat. Up next, we have another fight that I really could never, like, I had no idea how one-dimensional this dude was until that fight. I don't even think he really got any significant. Maybe he tried that flying knee, but that didn't really land. Maybe he got some shots. I don't think he really landed any. Look at, he landed a total of 6 strikes. Like, not really anything serious. Like, I don't really think he really landed anything. This was a shutout. This was utter domination from start to finish. Like, even the ref helped him. Like, when like, this dude, he said this dude hits him low. I don't know how low that was. I thought that was his lap, but whatever. Still on still, this guy was just, you have 0 to none grappling, and it's like Islam Hashem said, like, talk less, train more. Like, y'all in fighting nerds, but you guys came in with so much swag. You came in with so much, momentum. Like, you guys are all young guys, all from Brazil. You all trained together. So, like, everybody was feeling that whole, you know, oh yeah, we're all riding the hype. I can't even lie, I'm a big Fighting Nerds fan, but you all saw the Carlos Prates fight, and that was against an Iangari that came in on 2 weeks notice. You saw what Iangari was able to do to him on 2 weeks notice, maybe 3 weeks, I don't know, but like, or 2.5 weeks, whatever. But you get the point I'm trying to make. Like, you guys didn't learn from what happened to Carlos Prates. Like, you know, you guys are skills, but this is the UFC. When you are on notice, everyone is watching you, and we've seen BSD. He started to use the wrestling in his last fight. Using against Renato Moicanos and Dustin Poirier. Shout outs to Diamond, Real One, Unbreakable. And, you know, he has used it before. And you would think this dude would prepare for it, but no, he was just there to strike. He was reacting to every single thing, every single takedown. I think this dude, how many did he shoot? I think he shot about 10. Yeah, he shot like 10, landed 3. I'm like, yeah. See, I'm so deflated recording this video. You know, I don't have so much energy recording this because I can't believe this. You tapped to Benoît in Paris. Who taps in Paris? Oh my God. You know, where's Wolf? I need Wolf to Javi and continue. But yeah, you know, I don't know what's next for Ruffy. I don't know. Like, this was his opportunity to start, you know, getting fights, like I said, against, you know, Justin Gaethje, the Paddy Pimblets, the Dan Hookers of the world. And now, I don't know. What's next for BSD? Well, those fights I just mentioned are fights I'd love to see him with. I'd love to see him against Paddy, you know. I'd love to see him against Dan Hooker. I'd love to see him against Justin Gaethje. If all these guys can get out of their asses and fight someone instead of sitting around waiting for who Ilya or the UFC will pick, they should fight, get active, fight and make money. That's the way a fighter makes money. But, you know, shout out BSD. You know, again, I was wrong. I'm a man who can admit he was wrong. Big respects to the French boys. This dude is not French, he's Russian, but you know, you get the point. Big respect to the French guys, and go do your homework. You know, stop trying to be Conor McGregor. Go learn something. Like, go learn some grappling and some TD. Up next, this was pretty straightforward. You know, I'm happy our favorite Scott, who really can't strike, Paul Craig, is done. Like, you know, like you said, the old eat the young, the young eat the old. So, you know, hey man, it was an easy dub. This was very, very easy dub. This is what I got right. Thank you, God. We didn't look so horrible because, you know, UFC Paris was just finishes. This fight was a finish. Let's go to the next one. This nigga that was with it, and then he lost. Oh my God, see Bolaji. That's why I called you Bolaji, because you're not Nigerian, you're Belgian, and bro, you just went there, you spent all your energy, and then, you know, you gassed in round 2. I'm like, you let this you know, beans and toast dude beat you up, finish you off with elbows. How about, bro? You're supposed to be able to do better than that. But anyway, it was actually quite entertaining, so I did enjoy this one. There were so many finishes. Like, this was a bit controversial, in my opinion. I think it was quite an early finish. You know, I don't know anyone who says that was a good finish. That was a very, very horrible finish. And, you know, I think they need to look into that, because this dude was still in it, man. What the hell? He was still in it. That was horrible. That was horrible. That's all I have to say about this. I think I got this one right. Abi? Or I said Reese Mickey. I don't remember. You know, y'all know. You know, easy dub. William Gomez. I told y'all he's comfortable at range. You know, he's comfortable at range. You know, it was a little closer than I think, but yeah. I predicted this one easily. Not a finish, but you know, let's just move on to the prelims and just get this depressing video over with, because it's very difficult to admit that you're wrong. I don't like being wrong this much. But yeah, Omar C, another one I got right. You know, thank God. That's 3 I got right. We got right, rather. Omar C, round 1 finish. You still are not very trustworthy because of your last performance against Alonso Menifield. I still don't trust you very much. You're from France. You are soft. You know, your national team is soft. Mbappe is soft. You know, Lamine Yamal is better. You know, get some more wins before I can trust you again. Weirdo. Yeah, we said it. I said it. Look, I said I don't trust Marcin Tabura. I don't trust this guy. I never trusted, but oh God, Nigerian internet is falling my hand. But anyway, y'all get the point. Like, I just knew Marcin Tabura was throwing his punches like as if His hands weighed 50 pounds. Like, bro, that was awful. But, shout out Ante Delija from Croatia, maybe, who knows, future Thomas Penal opponent. But I don't know. He's really, really super cool with Thomas Penal. He even thanked him and his dad in his press conference. And, it is what it is. Harry Hardwick, I had hopes on you that there'll be an upset. I had hopes, but apparently that is not the case, But it's all good. You're a featherweight. This fight was at 155. 4 days notice. It is what it is. You took a shot for the start. You took a shot in the dark and it didn't land. It happens. Keep your head up, champ. You'll get him back next time. Sam Patterson versus Trey Waters. Another one I got wrong. This dude has no head movement. Head up in the sky, chin on the center line, just there to be hit. This card was just depressing, man. But shout out, it was a knockout at least. So it is what it is. Brad Tavares, man. Boy, did I get this one wrong. Brad Tavares, I think I could argue that was another early finish, but I don't know, man. You didn't look great. You could argue it was an early finish, but I still don't like the way he was looking. So, I don't have no complaints. You kind of suck, dude. Like, shout out Roberts. I am not pronouncing his last name. I don't have that energy right now. But yeah, shout out Roberts. Whatever his last name is, fuck you, Brad Tavares. You suck. Up next, we have Andreas Gustafsson. Now, yes, this is the fight I actually want to talk about. Look, I know I said this dude was a clinch warrior, but goddamn, in less than a minute. And I keep saying it, this retard fool that Dracos and the likes of these fighters are bringing and using to deceive us. Like, bruv, I thought this was going to come and be a clinch warrior and, get the decision. But no, I actually thought this was going to be able to knock him out. But no, he got knocked out in less than a minute. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed. All those jungle pull-ups you used to do on Instagram, it don't mean shit in the cage, man. Go and learn how to keep your hands up and throw a proper 1-2. You retard. Down to even women's MMA. There was a finish. What? Shona Bannon. God. Even in women's MMA, there was a finish. And, again, another prediction I got wrong. This video was very difficult to make because of the accumulation of L's that we had. Like, it was a submission, but still on still. God damn. So anyway, that is UFC Fight Night Paris. It was embarrassing for Highguard TV, particularly me, Highguard Sensei, and Wolf, because we are so good at predicting these things, and it hurts that we're not able to accurately predict these fights. What I will say is this, that, hey man, it's the fight game, man. You never know. So, yeah, almost, I think all the fights on the prelim were all finishes. Like, it was the prelims that even put me on notice, like, finish. Like, yo. So, like, shout out UFC Paris. I still think France sucks as a country, but, it is what it is. Imavov and Borralho. Imavov went in there and did what he had to do against Borralho. If Imavov can also negate Hamza's wrestling, keep it standing. Don't play his game. Force him to play his game. I think he has a real chance, with his hands, because of how fast and precise he is. Like, the dude is just, he's got great boxing, great fundamentals, great striking. So, I see that. And then as for you, Borralho, I don't know, man. We need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe fight what's his name? Maybe you can fight this dude that I don't like. This dude that just beat that blockhead, Brendan Allen. You can fight that dude, Let's see if that was just an off night for you, or maybe you're fraud checked. Yeah, so that's it for the video. Wolf isn't here today because he went to work. I am the semi-employed one, so I don't always have work. So that's why I was able to churn this out. I don't know if it will go, as at the time I'm recording this, it is Monday morning. So I don't know if internet is fast. I could have it out by 6 in the evening or 7 or whenever you guys watch it. It is what it is. But if not, I'll just have it out on Tuesday. As usual, shout outs to everyone who shows the channel support. Always remember, we have an Instagram now, so you can go follow us. I post all the fight highlights there because, DMCA. But anyway, yeah. Shout outs everyone. We also have Twitter. Go follow us on Twitter so I can see all the interesting things that we tweet in our spare time. And follow us for more MMA and boxing content. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, don't forget to keep your hands up. Wolf's not here, so I can't finish it. So see you around.